morning. Now I'm getting a lot of questions on the revenue management because business is back and hotels are doing good. There is a business in the market. But again, we see some of the hotel not able to cash in the market. It all depends on the pricing strategy and how they fence their rate. So today we're going to talk about the pricing strategy and rate fencing. So when we talk about the pricing strategy, there are two ways of doing a pricing strategy. One is based on the price, second based on the volume. Either it's a volume based or it's a price based. So let's first talk about the volume based strategy. What's a volume based strategy? Volume based strategy is implemented to sell more at a lower volume, which means to penetrate in the market but reduce their rate. So basically the margins are low, but again there's a higher volume and the profitability is managed. I'll give an example of the change in volume, how I change my volume. I have to go for discount, I have to reduce my rate. Suppose I sell my room for 1,000 and my cost is, which I call CPOR, is 600. So I make a margin of 400 by selling one room. I decided to go for a volume strategy and discount the rate by 15%. So room rate become 850 from 1,000. My cost remains same, 600. So my margin is now 250. So from 400 it become 250. Now earlier if I sell 10 rooms, I make 4,000, 400 times 10. But now because of the volume strategy, because now I discount the rate, I reduce the rate by 15%, I get a margin of 250 only, which means to make same amount of money, which is 4,000, I have to sell 16 rooms. So when I go for the volume strategy, I reduce my rate, I have to start selling more. Instead of 10 room, I start selling 16 room to make the same money. But again, I'm selling at the lower price, which means I can capture bigger market, a different market. To go for volume-based strategy, the hotel need to have a higher room count. The market should have enough inventory. Enough inventory means additional room nights. Competition is selling at a lower price. The market is price sensitive, which means the geo market is changed, the geographical market changed. They become more price sensitive and it become more cash based, because when I go for discounted price, I can ask for the advance payments, I can ask for the immediate cash. And the best part is we can penetrate in the market to improve our market share. So volume based strategy need more inventory, higher inventory count, competition selling lower price, there's a change in the market become very price sensitive, and it gives us opportunity to penetrate in the market, to get a bigger share in the market. But there are some challenges also. If I go for volume strategy for long, my rate goes down, it's very difficult to bring it back at the higher rate, because the market get used to of that kind of rate from certain product. The other problem is the margin become lower. So like in my example, instead of 10 room night, I'm selling 16 room night. So I'm selling 60% more just to get the same money. So instead of 10 room nights, selling 16 room night. My OSNE and my linen and the equipment, the wear and tear is more, and also I need more manpower. So my cost also start increasing, but again, I start getting a bigger volume, I start penetrating in market, I start putting my presence in the market. So volume strategy is good, but it's a short time or it's based on how the market is behaving at that point of time. Now the second one is a price strategy. Price strategy, as the name says, we increase the price. We start selling at a premium price. We improve our margins. But again, we have to be careful. The competition may try to cash in. They may try to penetrate in the market with the volume strategy or lower price. So when we implement a pricing strategy, we have to see what inventory is available, what kind of product we have, and how we can influence the market. It has to be done very carefully, and especially when not enough inventory is available in the market. If too much of inventory, the pricing strategy may not work. So the pricing strategy is more, I'll say, the yielding time. When we see we have a base occupancy, base business, then we go for the price strategy. So initially we put a volume strategy to get a base business. Once we get a base business, from the mice, from the groups or otherwise, and then we go for the pricing strategy. Pricing strategy for a shorter time, yielding in the market. When there's a festive, there's an event going on in a town or in a city or in a country, that's a time when the pricing strategy works very well. You can start cashing up in the market. But again, there's a challenge is, again, the competition, my rival, may gain in the market. They start penetrating more aggressively in the market, improving their business base, because this hotel is going for the price, they have a limited business and they try to improve their market share. Since it is a short-term strategy, the moment the revenue manager or revenue director see it, the market is changing, he can change again to the volume. So it's a mix of a price and volume strategy. It has to be implemented. We are on dynamic rates. The hotels work on dynamic rates mostly. So it's very easy. They can put a promotional rate and start doing the fencing. So how fencing work when you put this strategy? I'll give you one example. You have a cap, let's say the cost is $10 and you want to sell for $15. So you can sell for $15, or there's the other option, sell for $11. So the price difference is very high. We can sell at a $15 if there's a limited stock and higher demand. The customer is available and a limited competition. If these four things are there, yes, I can increase the price from $10 to $15. But there are chances I have to sell for $11 only. Why? Because there's excess stock, there's less demand in the market, customer is price sensitive, they don't want to spend because of economic situation or maybe a geo mix. And the last fourth one, we have a many competitor, many people are selling it the same thing. So I can't increase the price. So my thinking has to be, how can I increase the price? Pricing increase based on the inventory availability, higher demand, customer availability. But if the competition doing the same thing and they increase the inventory, I can't go for the higher price. Same happen in the pricing and volume. If there's enough inventory available, very difficult to go for the pricing strategy unless we have certain USP or a certain selling point which can bring the customer, or I do the rate fencing correctly. So what is the rate fencing? Rate fencing is a technique to charge different price to different customer for the same product. And how do we do it? That's a technique. And if I'm expert in rate fencing, I can play with the price and volume. So rate fencing is two kinds of. There's a direct rate fencing and there's an indirect rate fencing. So the rate fence is determined by considering many factors like room types, view, amenities, space, and even the customer. We start categorizing them and then we start doing the rate fencing. It is influencing a certain category of customer with the facility of the hotel. So there are 2 points to be considered when we do the rate fencing: the customer base and the facilities. The first is a direct rate fence. It is used to improve the average rate, thereby improving the margins. So the direct rate fence is linked with my pricing strategy, and indirect rate fence is linked to my volume strategy. So let's talk about the direct rate fence. It mostly depends on the room type, view from the room, amenities, the space. I give you the example. Let's say the hotel use the view from the room as a rate fence. You will see in the website mostly the garden facing room, the sea facing room, the pool facing room, like that. They fence it. The same room, same size, same bed, same amenities. But if you want to stay in a room which is facing towards pool or towards garden or towards sea, again the rate is different. There is no difference in the amenities, the size, the facility. But again you pay more if you want to stay in a room which is sea facing. So it's a fencing. If you want to stay in sea facing room, a hotel may charge you $50 extra. A normal room is $200, sea facing is $250. What's the benefit? Only when you open the window you can see the sea. Otherwise everything is same. People want to stay in those rooms. So hotels start cashing up. They start making $50 extra by selling the same room. Sometimes it's a pool facing room. Sometimes it is a garden facing room. Because nobody wants to stay in a city hotel which is facing towards the roads and the town, they want a better view. So view is one of the criteria. It can be the space. Generally the last room of any floor has more space, because the end of the building they may have 2 windows, they may have a little bit extra space because of the space allocation, and the hotel starts selling it on a premium. They start charging $20, $30 extra because a person who's staying can get a little bit more space. They can have a better view, they can have better lights. The room is same, facility is same. So hotels start making more money on those. Sometimes they give you the additional benefits. They say, okay, we include your room with a club service or some additional benefit, where the cost of sale is very less for the hotel. They may charge you $100, but the cost of sale is $20 only. So they start making money. So they are the ways of doing the rate fencing. But rate fencing has to be done very carefully based on the market, how much the customer is price sensitive, what my competition is doing. But it's actually improve your rate, average rate. So it work in your favor and support your pricing strategy. A higher volume in direct rate fence can be achieved if we able to explain to the customer clearly the benefits. Now these are the very common benefits, but customer need to understand. If he's traveling with a family or kids and he get an extra space but a similar room in an extra bed, again you influence him and you charge him a small amount but sell the same room. But again, these benefits need to be explained at the time of reservation to the customer or by the website. It has to have a detailed explanation. You have to see the customer need and preference and direct towards these rates. Indirect rate fencing is more about the volume, to get more volume instead of the ADR, and it supports the volume strategy. What we do here, we start categorizing the customer, like for loyalty program, student rate, senior citizen rate, it can be some reward program, and try to get the volume from them. I'll give you an example on the student rate. If a hotel is close to an education institute or a university, they know a lot of parents keep coming to meet the students, and many times candidates keep coming for examination. So they give a student rate. They give a special rate if you can show the student card. So the students start staying there. So they start influencing the students by giving them a special rate, special or free breakfast for the students, and try to get all that business in the hotel. Same can be for the senior citizens. It can be for the armed forces. It can be for loyalty members, or it can be a reward program. So we categorize the customer and try to get the volume out of them. But in the direct one, we go for the special rate, higher rate. For the direct one, we go for the premium rate, a higher rate. Again, we use the product of the hotel. Here we use the customer. There's one more way. It can be by influencing the customer with the airlines or other businesses. We see what happens sometime. We travel in the airlines and the magazine says, if you carry the boarding pass and you stay in this hotel, you get a discount. You got a 15% discount or a 20% discount, or you get a breakfast free. They start influencing the people who are traveling in the airlines. They start giving them benefit to show the boarding pass. So bringing the business of the airlines to your hotel. Again, say indirect rate fencing, we discount it here. Like our first example, 15% discount. Instead of 1,000, I sell for 850, so I give you 15% discount. But instead of 10, I sell for 16 room night. But again, if volume is coming, getting 16 room nights is not a problem. But again, we should have enough inventory available. If we don't have enough inventory available, this scheme does not work. We may fill up our hotel with a lower rate. The revenue manager will not able to get opportunity to improve the price, go for the price strategy. So again, fencing, direct, indirect, volume strategy, price strategy, a fine mix-up to reach the higher margin to fill your hotel. I have a blog in my my website, hotelierfinance.com. The blog is rate fencing and pushing revenue. You can go through the blog. It explains you the pricing strategy and the volume strategy and what's a direct and what's a indirect rate fencing. I try to explain in nutshell in that blog. The whole idea is how to influence the customers. You can influence the customer by having a half-day rate. What's a half-day rate? If your hotel is close to an airport or a railway station, you can put a half-day rate or 12 hours rate, which means the business traveler who are there for a business trip, they can use that 12-hour rate. It's not a full day rate, it's a half day rate, but they start going towards the hotel because they need the hotel to charge only for a short period. Again, it works if you have a higher inventory in your hotel available. It can be extra bed free, it can be early booking deal, it can be many ways to influence your customer. Influence your customer to book your hotel by using direct or indirect rate fencing. Now we need to understand who pay what price. If for the same room I want to sell for $200, $250 or $150, the three price. I can sell the same room for the three price. But how? $250 I can do flexible cancellation. I can do an added value, which means I add additional benefits, and this can be on the last minute booking. So if you do a booking on the last minute, you want a flexible cancellation, you want additional value in the room, let's say mini bar, let's say access to the club services, you pay $250. Then my second rate for the same room is $200, where I don't add any value. Cancellation can be done with some restriction. Let's say 50% will be charged or some restrictions are there, and access to the privilege club. And the last one, the lowest rate, which is $150. It is a non-refundable rate, it's advance payment, and it's early booking, which means you book early more than, let's say, 30 days or 60 days. Then you get a special rate, which is lowest rate for the same room. There is no cancellation, you pay cash now, $150. But then if you pay a little bit more, $200, then cancellation can be done. Some restrictions are there. There is no additional value, but you get access to privilege card or privilege club. And then there's a rate which is the highest rate, $250. There's a flexible cancellation, means you can cancel up to a certain day. It can be last minute booking, and there's a added value. So we start charging different price for the same room, $150, $200, $250. Again, it's kind of a fencing or a race strategy, giving different options to the customer and influencing them towards a higher price. Airlines are very good into it. Whenever you try to book a ticket, you will see same ticket, they charge you 3 times, same date, everything same, but 3 prices. Again, the cancellation and day shifting, your travel shifting can be done. All those free things. It's all part of the revenue management. That's how they influence the customer. They play with the psychology of a customer basically, and they charge you extra. And lastly, I'll talk about the competition. Every hotel has a competition. Every business has a competition for that matter. So in a hotel, what we do, we make our comp set. We select 4 or 5 hotels close by with a similar facility, and we start tracking them. And every strategy revolves around them. How they sell and how I sell, how I get their business, how my market share increase. So we play within that comp set. Deciding comp set is very important because it influences my pricing strategy. So we do 2 kinds of comp set, primary and secondary. We divide them. The primary comp set hotel can be a hotel close to my location, similar size, similar facility, and same category, 4-star, 5-star. So very similar, my primary comp set. And then I keep my secondary comp set also. That are the hotel which are of different size. Maybe I'm 200 room hotel, they are 300 room hotel. The location is different. I'm on east side of the island, they are on the west side of the island, so the location is different. I'm east side of the city, they are on the central of the city or on the west side of the city, but they have the similar product in same category. So product and category same in both, but based on location and based on size, I can divide them in primary or secondary. The primary should be more related to my facilities, is identical to my hotel, not completely identical, but close to it. And how they are behaving, how they are in the market is really influencing my product. But a secondary, although the product is same, but they're not in the same area. We may be having a different customers, we may be having a different market. So that's why we keep it a primary and secondary and works towards it. Because again, it's impact my pricing strategy. So this is what I have today for you, the pricing strategy. Price, volume, direct fence, indirect fence. Just remember the example of the cap. If you have a cap of $10, you want to sell for $15, or you want to sell for lesser price, let's say $11 or $12. Why? Because again, the availability of market, comp set, everything is same in the hotel business or any other business for that matter. That's how the revenue directors think and create the pricing strategy and fence the rate and the customer to gain maximum. I hope you like my today's session on revenue management. There are many other areas. We're going to go through them one by one. Going through this such a big topic of revenue management is very difficult in such a short time. So we're going to pick and choose small parts of it, and we'll communicate more on this strategy part, revenue management, and other topics on the hotel business. If you have any questions, please put your comments. I will happy to answer it to you. Have a nice day.